This video is about a connection that many people overlook, the link between hearing loss and memory decline. Most of us think of hearing trouble as an inconvenience, something that comes with age. Maybe you need the TV volume a little higher, or you find yourself asking people to repeat things more often. But here's something you might not expect. Hearing loss isn't just about missing out on conversations or turning up the TV. It can have a much deeper impact on your overall health, especially your brain. Many people don't realize that the effects of hearing loss go far beyond the ears. When you're constantly struggling to hear, your brain has to work overtime just to make sense of sounds and speech. This extra effort can actually speed up cognitive decline, making it harder to remember things, focus, or even think clearly over time. In fact, researchers from Johns Hopkins and other leading institutions have found that older adults with hearing loss are significantly more likely to experience memory problems, faster rates of brain shrinkage, and changes in brain structure that can affect thinking and reasoning skills. These changes can even lead to an earlier onset of dementia. That's why it's so important to pay attention to hearing health, not just for your ears, but for your mind and quality of life as you age. This process is known as cognitive load. But it's not just about effort. Hearing loss can actually lead to structural changes in the brain. Dr. Frank Lin, a renowned expert in hearing and brain health at Johns Hopkins University, has dedicated much of his career to understanding how our ears and our minds are connected. His groundbreaking research has shed light on the profound impact that hearing loss can have on the brain, especially as we age. Over the years, Dr. Lin has studied this link extensively, analyzing thousands of patient records and conducting in-depth clinical trials to uncover the relationship between hearing and cognitive function. In one of his most influential studies, he and his team followed a group of older adults, carefully monitoring their hearing abilities and mental sharpness over time. The results were striking. Older adults with moderate hearing loss were found to have a significantly higher risk of cognitive decline, including problems with memory and thinking skills. In fact, their rate of cognitive decline was up to 30 to 40% faster than those with normal hearing, highlighting just how important hearing health is for maintaining brain function. Dr. Lin's research continues to inspire new approaches to protecting both hearing and cognitive health, reminding us that taking care of our ears may help preserve our minds as we grow older. That's not a small number. And what's even more concerning, many people don't even realize they have hearing loss until it's already taken a toll. Hearing loss doesn't just affect the brain directly, it also affects our behavior. When hearing becomes difficult, many people start avoiding social situations. The brain isn't getting the stimulation it needs, and when we stop engaging, the parts of the brain involved in memory and language begin to weaken. It's a quiet decline, often unnoticed until it starts to affect daily life. One reason hearing loss is so often overlooked is that it happens gradually. You might not notice it at first. And while you may adjust your habits, avoiding noisy places, turning the TV louder, your memory may already be starting to pay the price. But there is good news. Here's what's encouraging. Treating hearing loss may actually slow or even prevent further cognitive decline. The earlier the intervention, the better the outcome. And that brings us to the most important question. What can you do right now? What you can do today. If you've noticed signs of hearing trouble, like turning the volume up, asking people to repeat themselves, or maybe struggling in noisy environments, don't brush it off. It's not just about your ears, it's about your brain. If hearing loss is found, don't panic. There are many treatment options from hearing aids to assistive devices depending on the severity and your lifestyle. Keeping your brain stimulated is one of the best things you can do for your overall well-being, especially as you age. Mental activity helps keep your mind sharp, improves memory, and can even slow down cognitive decline. Even if you already have some hearing loss, there's still a lot you can do to support your brain health. Stay mentally active, read books and newspapers, play word games and puzzles, or join a book club to discuss new ideas with others. You can also challenge yourself by learning something entirely new, like picking up a musical instrument, taking a painting class, or studying a new language. These activities not only keep your brain engaged, but also make life more interesting and enjoyable. Social connection is just as critical. Make time for regular conversations with family or friends. Even just a weekly phone call can make a big difference. If group settings are difficult, try looking for quieter environments where you can still engage without feeling overwhelmed. And if you're part of a community center or religious group, speak up. Many are happy to accommodate those with hearing needs once they're aware. Lifestyle habits that help. Several healthy habits support both hearing and memory. First, protect your ears from further damage. Avoid prolonged exposure to loud noises, like lawnmowers, concerts, or headphones turned up too high. Research suggests that a Mediterranean-style diet, rich in leafy greens, berries, olive oil, fish, and nuts, supports both cognitive function and ear health. Exercise also plays a big role. Regular physical activity improves blood flow to the brain and inner ear, keeping both sharper for longer. Even something as simple as walking 30 minutes a day can offer protection. And finally, manage chronic conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or cholesterol. These all affect circulation and, the tiny blood vessels in the inner ear are particularly vulnerable. When to seek help? It's easy to delay. You tell yourself it's not that bad. You've gotten used to it. You don't want to seem old. If you've been feeling mentally foggy, forgetful, or withdrawn, it might not be just aging. It might be your hearing. And getting it checked could make all the difference. The brain is like a muscle, and just like any muscle, it needs stimulation, movement, and rest. You are not helpless, and it's never too late to take a step toward clarity. Your memory, your mind, and your quality of life are worth protecting. Start with your ears.